Hey, good morning. Guido coming after the coffee talk. Good morning to Pilgrim.
Good morning to you, Guido. Good morning to all you colonials. I'm back. I had a weekend away last weekend, so I'm back with my cup of tea, and it's 31 degrees centigrade. So hence I've got no head covering for the first time. Streaming with Guido, you'll get to see the shiny palette. So if it blinds you guys, you need to turn. You need to turn the I don't know what it's called.
That
The
thing.
shininess down. Yeah.
Yeah, turn the shininess.
Time to turn the shininess down.
D
Anyway.
D shine the forehead. Well, that's where we got to get the
D-shine
makeup.
forehead.
The makeup guys have to come in and powder your
Yeah,
head. Yeah,
Yeah, go in, guys.
31 degrees.
What's that in Fahrenheit? It must be 70 something.
87.8.
All right. Florida weather here in Cambridgeshire. How nice. I
Actually,
said to Guido before we started, you can keep that. You can keep that weather in Florida. Just I don't want it here.
you're 10 degrees warmer than we are right now.
See, what's
Yeah.
that all about?
We're
This is
77.
the United Kingdom.
But I think we're on our way to 90 something. So we'll get you.
There you are.
As it is Morgan here. No,
Yeah.
we're gonna match. It's about the same as you. We'll be 87 later today, but we got
Yeah, to be fair, it's
bazillion
humid,
humidity.
Yeah, you get like 90% humidity.
Yeah, we have. It's literally
Soggy.
it's up in the 80s. It's crazy. Yeah, summer in Blighty, man. Gets that way sometimes.
Yes, it was the same heat last weekend. We were out on Grimsthorpe Castle doing our motorcycle club festival, summer festival, and it was close to 31 then. I was in a tent.
Oh.
I was in a tent, absolutely baking. But it
You
was
actually stayed in a tent.
I kicked out in the tent. It was like the old days.
The bad
A
old
little
days.
two-man thing. A little two-man. Yeah, that was a bit warm.
How was the whole event? So yes, there's no relief,
Well,
is there?
it was this. We do it for charity. We do it for the Army Benevolent Fund, which is similar to, I guess, one of your big military charities. So
Yeah.
we do it for that. And you'll love this, Dougie, your friend, who you've met many
Yeah,
times now,
yep.
more than once anyway.
Yeah.
His friend owns the castle because his friend is a lord. Of course he is.
Oh, jeez.
He was Brigade of Guards, wasn't he? So they all knock together, don't they?
Right.
So Dougie's friend, the Lord, whoever it is who owns Grimsthorpe Castle, lent him the castle for the weekend. So that was that was
The
nice.
keys to the castle?
The keys to the castle for the weekend. He
Oh.
got absolutely trashed. There was 150 bikers all drunk, falling over themselves. It was quite fun. Lo and behold, Dougie, your friend, who was a lieutenant colonel in the Life Guards and used to wear all the shiny stuff on horses up and down Horse Guards Parade and all that.
Yeah.
Right. We're doing what's called the NC 500, the North Coast 500, which is the whole coast of Scotland going up to John O'Groats, the top of the United Kingdom, and then back down, right the way around. We're doing it in September, and he happened to drop into the conversation. We can always stop off at my friend's castle up in Scotland. He's got another lord who's a mate who owns a castle up in Scotland. I'm like, how many lords and castles do you know?
So it's Grimsthorpe Castle in Lincolnshire.
It is. That's the one.
So
Nice.
let's go.
I'll post a picture.
Well, I got a
Just-
picture of it right here. So you tell me if it's the right
Yeah.
one here.
Yeah. I mean, I'll send you
It'll
some
come up in
pictures
a
anyway.
moment.
Yeah, because
Is that the one?
I've got to get permission sorted. Yeah, that's the one. We were all the bikes were parked out the front there. There was 150 bikes all parked out. I've got pictures of it all. It's awesome. It's a drone shot as well. So you've got like it
Yeah.
comes down and it shows all the bikes and the bikers and and the castle in the background. I mean, it's a black and white shot, so it's even more atmospheric, So I'll send it to you anyway, so you've got it for future reference. But yeah, that's the castle. Yeah, that's the Lord's mansion. Very
Wow.
nice. Farm
Wow.
shop's nice. Yeah, that's where we had the tents. We wrecked his lawn. We put stakes in and everything. We had huge, great big military tents because we've got some serving military guys who are in the logistics.
Right.
We managed to borrow, as you do, some tentage and equipment from the military, which was useful. But
Holy
yeah,
cow.
so we, yeah, it was cool. It was a good, it was a big family thing as well. There was lots of people and paddling pools and all that sort of good stuff. So yeah, it was cool. It was cool. They see Gator owns a 12th of the 12th of a piece of a Scottish castle.
That's pretty cool, man. Good. I'm glad you had a good weekend. So no lavender in sight, or
There is actually, there is actually a farm shop, and next to the farm shop is a farm gardens, which is generally farm shop produce with a little bit of lavender in the corner. So I was well at home. I was quite happy.
oh man.
We've got this chap, this friend of mine who's a beef eater in the Tower of London. Told you about him, I think.
Yeah.
Did I? Anyway, so he's getting his prospect patches on, I think it's the 19th, and we're going to go do it down at the Tower. So the Towers give us permission to pack ride in, which is awesome, into the Tower, park up, get Wayne out, get his patches and everything else, and get him christened as a new prospect for the club in the middle of the Tower of London.
Wow.
I think we're all going to be hung, drawn, and quartered. I think that's where it's at. I think we're all going to go. Like
Do
that.
they? They're probably tricking you.
Well, I think so.
Yeah, a bunch of rebels that like invited you into the castle, and you're just gonna drive your bikes in there.
Yeah, I think that's it, isn't it? I think it's let's get them all in one place and we can nab them.
At the tower, is that one of the places where there's a guard standing outside and people can take pictures with them, or is that only at Buckingham or wherever?
No, not at the Tower of London. The Tower of London is the preserve of the beef eaters, the wardens,
Right.
the guys who.
But they don't stand guard outside and their stuff and.
No, they've got no, they don't have. You mean like guardsmen with the bearskins and all that?
Yeah, and it's the guy on the horse.
They've got them inside. They've got not at the door. The door's manned by police security, but internally outside. Get this. Outside the row of houses, there's 4 houses where Oliver Cromwell was hung, drawn, and quartered, and the other infamous criminal, Guy Fawkes, was also hung, drawn, and quartered, and tortured. Outside those 2 houses, they have a guardsman.
Right.
But I don't know what reason. I have no idea. People want souvenirs, maybe. I don't know. So
So that's only is that at Buckingham where they stand outside like that and the tourists
Buckingham
can take
Palace.
pictures?
Yeah, and also.
Where's the one with the guys on the horse?
That's Dougie's mob in it. That's the lifeguards. So that's outside Whitehall, outside the headquarters of the Ministry of Defence.
And there's one guard there on a horse, right?
Bit like your Pentagon. Yeah. There's 2 guys, 2 horses, one either side of the gates. But you only ever see one on the YouTube videos and that because the other one's further down.
Yeah, and idiots go in there and bug them and all that stuff.
Yeah. They stick their fingers up the horse's nostrils and then get surprised when they get bitten. You know what I mean? Really? You're surprised at that, are you? Idiots. But anyway.
Yeah, some of those videos are pretty outrageous. You get the
Yeah. But I mean,
usually not
police
Brits doing stuff like that.
I mean, the guard that sat on the horse is within his legitimate rights to impale said offender with his sword if he so wishes to do. But generally, the police get involved before it gets to that stage.
Yeah.
Before there's any sword impalement.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of videos of it. The problem is there's also some people that do fake ones where they go up and knock their hat off and do crazy stuff. Yeah. I'm like, that doesn't look quite right, but
no, the uniforms are never right and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
You can tell straight away. But anyway, the Tower of London. If you ever come over to London, guys, you're more than welcome. Let me know and I'll get you a free pass into the Tower. I got a backdoor pass. I told you last time.
Oh, I'll definitely take you up on that. Yeah, you said that a couple weeks ago. That's awesome. That'd be cool.
Yeah, Wayne will take you around and give you the free tour with the backdoor tour, which is nice. Yeah.
Nice. All right.
Strategically transfer equipment to alternative location. Correct, Cliffy. Correct.
Good morning. We got Stickler, Zimbo, Cliffy's in the house, Gator, Wayne, Jimmy. Who else? I think I said Zimbo. That's all. All right. Welcome, everybody. So how's you been playing tanks at all? Or have you just been playing motorcycles?
No, I did it yesterday. I put a full day in yesterday. So
good.
I did half on Europe and half on the US server, and it was mediocre to okay on the US server, and it was abysmal on the European server for some reason. So bad on the European server that I resorted to playing artillery for the last 3 games just
Whoa.
to get a win.
Wow.
Just to get a win. Oh
Wow.
dear.
Well, my
Wayne.
win rate took a nosedive. I was cruising along real nice when I was right at the end of those several tanks that were pretty good, and now I'm trying to play some maybe not so good tanks, and man, oh man, it's been
Yeah,
tough.
well, you put yourself in that position, don't you? But
Been tough.
can you blame MM? Not sure. Can you blame?
I think I can. I
myself,
think
not
I'm
sure.
seeing on NA that the matchmaker, we're starting to get these. We're starting to once again get the mismatches in tanks.
Power of tanks. Yeah. So,
power of tanks.
I've
Yeah.
got you. Not actual class, but the power of each
Right.
class.
And to some extent, sometimes map versus tank. For example, you're on Himmelsdorf, and one team's got 2 JPZ 100s, and the other one's got 2 grills.
Yeah. You're like, hello.
You know, it's stuff like that. You look at it and go, crap, they got 2. And I was thinking about this. Dangerous thing. I think in the whole, in the main, in the big picture, you would almost always rather have, regardless of map, you would almost always rather have the assault TD over the glass cannon.
Nearly 100%.
Nearly, I would say if you were running the odds,
Yeah.
you know, it's like the Monty Hall conundrum or whatever it is.
Yeah.
You should always pick the assault TDs over the glass cannons, whatever map you're on.
Absolutely.
Because
it's all about longevity. It's all about surviving the battle. You know, surviving to be effective, which you can't in a glass cannon. If you get spotted, you
Exactly.
get bullet
Yeah.
straight away.
I would agree with that 100% because an assault TD in this game can snipe as close enough to one of the glass cannon sniper ones as makes no difference.
Yeah,
A glass cannon cannot assault
No.
like an assault TD can.
No.
You know what I mean? So one can play the other role sufficiently and is a master in one role. The other one cannot do one role at all and is slightly, I would say, only slightly better than the other one in the role of sniper.
In the term of damage and stuff
Yeah.
like that. I mean,
Yeah, Gator. Yeah,
the
then
typical example is the Scorpion, isn't it? The Scorpion G or the Scorpion
yeah,
is a typical example of that. I mean, it punches hard, but you're sort of last line of defence. You're back there on the red line most of the game. So
right.
you're not going to push that up forward. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's purely to Gator's point there. That is purely in relation to the match, the game setup, the tanks picked, not the players or what they do with them.
No.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
once the match is released into the wild and the humans start making their decisions, then there's other things can happen.
How dare humans make decisions?
Yeah.
Just play the way I tell you to play.
But I think that's true in a large extent. You'd much rather have the tank with armor, TD wise.
Yeah.
There's an argument for
For that
mobile
longevity.
mediums. Yeah. Yep. But even if you went with, say a Leopard or an Object 140 or 430, I guess has better armor. Nearly every time you'd rather have the armored medium because it's almost as fast as a Leopard.
Yeah.
The gun is
Yeah.
close and it's not super accurate. But you put a Leopard on Himmelsdorf and you're in trouble.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
You put a 430U on Malnovka or Proc, maybe not as good as a sniper as a Leopard, but serviceable, and then later on
And it's
hold
got
down.
armor. And it's got armor.
Yeah, and you can go hold down in the middle and all kinds of stuff that you can't do. So it can do everything that one can do decently, plus something the other one can't do at all.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think that's ever taken into account with wargaming.
It's not. I mean, you see it all the time.
You know,
And
their classes are their classes, isn't it?
Yeah.
So,
And I don't think well, maybe you do see it a lot on EU, because the other problem with it is that the tanks people are playing. Because now you've also got the issue with the, 10% of overpowered tanks that there are, that nearly everybody, that's what they play. The usual suspects, you get into a game and you're nearly always going to have some of those in the game because Brasks, ELC,
Absolutely.
even
Yeah.
90s, that kind of stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, and you see it over and over again. It really gets frustrating after a while. You're just like, how how come their team got two XM57s?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, exactly.
And I got a KTTS and I don't know a Scorpion or some crap. You know.
Yeah, exactly that. But they look at the triangles and they go, right, there's 4 triangles each team. That's fine. There's 4 squares each team. But
yeah, you're right. That's right.
Yeah.
Yep, that's all they care about. You're 100%.
That's all they care about.
And they used to weight the tanks a little bit. I think it was a little more complicated back in the day because different tanks of the same tier would carry slightly different weights in their weighting system, and I don't know how exactly all that worked, but I think that used to be a thing back in the day.
I mean, I don't know what else you could do. I don't know. There is nothing much else you can do to negate that sort of You'd have to rewrite the whole book. And
you'd have to have stratifications in between, and they kind of do. They have the roles thing. So really, using just the stuff they have in the game right now, you would try to balance between roles as well, and that's a whole nother level of futzing around and low population. I understand all the reasons why not, but it is frustrating. And it's sometimes you look at it and go, well, why don't they just slide one of those assault guys over to that side and send one of the glass cannons over there? But and it's easy to say, but you have to then have that classification on those tanks so that you can.
Yeah, well, the
so that so the coding can make that decision on which one's going to slide. And it's more, I guess, it's more an observation than a call to arms. But it is frustrating because you can look at it and go, all right, this is going to be a tough road to hoe. I'm not saying we're out of loss, but I'm on Himmelsdorf and that team has 2 top tier XM57s, and I have a Scorpion and some other not assault TD.
And they're definitely not going up the hill. They're going to sit behind that railway shed and fire long shots down that railway track.
Right, exactly. Yeah. While the main fight on the hill is in the banana road is over, and he's over here in the corner with the arty. Like, oh, great.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. The nice thing about EU, I'm not sure how often you see bots on NA with the player base.
Actual bots or people who play like bots?
Oh, well, yeah, both. No, actual bots. I doubt very much, but probably down at lower tiers you may well do. But the nice thing about this, coming on to a different subject, the nice thing about NA is that you see, for example, Tier 8, you see all Tier 8 games almost 99% of the time. It's very rare in Tier 8. Yeah, very rare that I've had a spread of tiers in a Tier 8 game.
On EU or NA?
Yeah, on EU.
Oh, right.
If I go Tier 8, generally, 99% of the time, that's just a figure plucked out of the air, but it feels that way, that I'm getting all Tier 8s, which is fantastic because it then becomes a skill thing, as well as, what tank you're using, which is great for that sort of gameplay. And then over and above that, there's a lot more lower tiers you can go and play, and there is enough sufficient people at that tier to make a game. Whereas on the NA, if you went to, say, Tier 4 or something like that, you could wait a long time and then it would be mismatched because you would have Tier 5 to make up the numbers, or even Tier 6 to make up the numbers, or something like that. So, yeah, you get less of a spread of tiers on EU, which is nice because it gives you the ability to play skill-wise as opposed to just overpower everything or underpower everything.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, you got a larger population, so... And Tier 8,
used to be like the US years ago.
Yeah, Tier 8's the most popular, so that makes sense. I do see a considerable number. As far as that goes, that's about as good as it's ever been to me. I don't see like you said, I don't see a whole. If I play my Tier 8s, I don't see a whole bunch of bottom tier games. And even if I do, it's got the new 10-5-3 or whatever the hell it is. It's not 5-8-5-3, I think, something like that.
Yeah.
8-5-2. Anyway, whatever the thing is that it tries to make. It gets pretty close to that most time, and so I don't feel like I'm bottom tier all the time.
No.
But
it is a noticeable difference between the two servers.
Right.
To be honest, I'm getting ripped here. Grumpy old man, who the hell is that in your stream?
Yeah, that's right.
Oh man, it's because I don't have my cap on for the first time ever in 5 years of streaming. I think
that's Easy Rider, man. That's Easy Rider.
It is the Easy Rider, yeah.
I think. Well, actually, I don't. I'm looking at where they're talking about it makes the team and then switches stuff. I don't. I have heard the thing that Cliffy's saying where it makes one and then it selects people out to make the other, but it does have to. However, it does have. We do have some special rules where it has to match things. So there is, whether it's pick one team and then match it within those rules, or if there's some overall rack and stack before. I don't know how exactly that works, but at some point it does have to make decisions on same amount of arty. A wheelie has to be matched with another wheelie.
Yeah, ELC.
You know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Well, wheeled, not necessarily ELC, because with the tier 9, what is it? 6x6, I can be matched with an EBR. It's just it has to be a French wheeled light tank,
Okay.
which is crazy. It's literally one nation and one subclass of that nation that has to be matched. So if you have a French wheel on one side, you have to have a French wheel on the other because it doesn't match.
Yeah.
The British ones are medium, so that's not how that works.
Yeah.
I never really thought about it this way, but that's pretty wild if you think about it. They're matching one nation with the same nation wheeled tank.
Yeah. The Agrendel, yeah.
Yeah, I was going to go back up here too. What is going on here? There we go. Durilzen, Sturb is a lot different than Grill in terms of sniping. Yeah, but they're both, I think, considered, support sniping tanks. Is that a class? Is it sniper or what is it?
I'm not sure.
I don't remember what the classes are for the TVs.
Because they have assault heavy, support heavy. I don't know.
They got versatile, assault. Versatile assault. Where's the sniper? Where's the Grill? Versatile assault sniper. Yeah, sniper is one. Is there 3 or 4? Versatile assault an ISU 130 is considered a sniper.
Right.
Well, see, this is
right.
ISU 130 is.
You can't make that up, can you? You can't make that up. No, not in a million years can you make that up.
Oh, I mean, it doesn't have a bad dispersion, I guess. But yeah, it's a sniper. That's bizarre.
Yeah.
I think they only have 3 classes: sniper, assault, and versatile.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah. Conway's a sniper. What's a badger? Assault. That makes sense.
Assault,
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, support. There's a 4th one. So okay, what? A 4005 stage 4 is a support. So there's 4: support, sniper, assault, versatile. There you go.
All right. So how do they work versatile out then, or versatile?
What's the difference between that and an assault? I don't know. But also, why is an ISU 130 a sniper?
Right.
Why is it not versatile? Or support? I don't know.
Sniper. You missed 9 out of your 10 shots. Sniper.
Yeah. See, and this is part of the issue with this game. They put that on there, and you're a new player, and you get your. I don't know why you get an ISU 130, but let's say you got an ISU 130. Like, what's this 100Y? 100Y is a support. I mean, I would play a 100Y very similar to the way I would play a SU 130 or a ISU 130, not SU 130, ISU 130.
ISU 130, yeah.
Which that's wild. So they see that, like, oh, I got my brand new ISU 130 premium. Wargaming says I'm a sniper. Now, to be fair, it doesn't have great armor, so you don't want to really be up front. I would probably have put that versatile. TU-30.
Yeah, who makes these decisions? That's the question you've got to ask. Who is the decision maker about all of this?
U.S. is first on this list, isn't it? Germans. Yes.
Yeah, I think it is.
The T-30 is versatile.
It can't be. It can't be.
I mean, that's all right. That's okay, though, isn't it?
Because it's a heavy tank.
It is. Yeah. Well, it is versatile in that it can absolutely be a heavy tank. Yep.
I've just fired a load of pictures at you for some point in the future.
Okay.
Anyway,
awesome. Thanks, man. Let's see. Channel news. What have I been up to? Just kind of cruising along with. Well, we'll talk about this a little bit. I almost this week started the. What'd you call it? The departure video.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. You know this isn't an airport. You don't have to announce your departure, but you're going to announce
Oh
it
yeah,
anyway.
yeah.
I was this close. I had some stuff that I was going to use. Once again, thought about it. This is probably the, I don't know, 8th or 9th, 10th time this last year and a half that I've I'm done with this. Frustrating freaking game. It's just such a mess right now.
Yeah.
It's a mess.
Yeah, I get
it's
you.
just a
I get
it's
you.
just a complete mess. And all the monetization,
It's not a matter of not being able to adapt to the changes in the game. It's a matter of the game has changed to the point where it's not the game that it was. And to catch up with that is just so frustrating because nobody's doing that. Nobody's trying to catch up with the game. Everybody's getting the overpowered tank. Everybody's paying money for this, that, and the other. So it's not like you've not tried to adjust your gameplay or your mental attitude. It's more like the world has gone to shit in World of Tanks.
You know, it just does that. Games evolve and they become different. People fall away. We've talked about this probably a dozen times. But I don't know. Let's see. Let me see if I can. It's the autoloader shit. It's the bombardment by guys on the red line in Arty. It's just those little things that are part of the game. Deal with it. Get over it. All that stuff. But for example, I'm playing this MKPZ thing here, which is truly, it actually has a pretty good win rate. It's kind of a piece of crap. It just doesn't,
Right.
In today's meta, it doesn't have a whole lot going for it. I mean, it hits for 400, but it reloads slow. I mean, it only has
slow, yeah,
1,782 DPM. And that's for a...
I mean, it hits for 400, you would think.
Yeah, but it takes so long to
It's
reload.
the length of time it takes to load, yeah.
Like 13 and a half seconds with my setup, and I've given it some help here. What happens with the rammer? It gets it down to actually 11.78, which is a pretty significant difference, actually.
Yeah.
That's kind of wild.
Actually, it is, isn't it?
That's kind of wild. I didn't realize it's almost 2 seconds, isn't it?
Yeah.
Wow. A little less than 2 seconds. So I was on. It's the harbor one, not Fjords, but the harbor one.
Safe Haven.
Yeah, Safe Haven.
Safe Haven.
Yeah. And I'm up in the hills fighting, and we push, and I have a couple mediums with me, and we take a couple guys out. And the game's going really well. I had about 1,700 damage, something like that. So we go into their backfield part, and there's a guy on the backside of the little hill there, so I come around with another guy, and we start working him. And next thing I know, I take a hit, and I'm like, shit, and I look up, and it's one of those stupid G-SOAR 1008s that have four shells or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And I'd taken one hit, and so he shoots 4 shots, or 3, whatever it is. I think it's 4 shot. He shoots all his shots. Every single one of them hits. Every single one of them pins, and I'm out of the game.
Yeah.
So he hadn't even been spotted yet. He'd been sitting up there in that little sniper hill spot, just sitting there with his autoloader.
Yeah.
And okay, great. Bad on me for not paying attention. Maybe I should have said, where is that guy, and planned for that or whatever. There were 3 other tanks with me. He just picked me.
Yeah.
And he's looking through this little tiny, 4-pixel wide thing behind 2 rocks. And he's got his gun depression, and he's shooting me straight down there. And I'm trying to maneuver, and he doesn't miss. He doesn't bounce. Every single shot pins, and now I'm out of the game.
Yes.
And I'm like, man, that is so fun. It's so fun to play the game, to get out there with your single shot tank, do some pretty good work with your team, and then one dude on the red line who literally his entire world is getting maybe 1 clip off, maybe.
Yeah.
And that's it. And then some guys pushed up, killed him because he was on a long reload, and that's that. But meanwhile, I'm back in garage going.
Yeah.
You got the
single shot. You didn't go down the I'm going to play an overpowered auto-loader, reloader, 5-clip shot, whatever it might be. You picked the normal tank to go and play.
But
or normal tanks, take them out of the game.
Or you're in that heavy that's been just absolutely brawling with people, and you've got 600 hit points. Here comes the Barask.
Yeah.
He goes around you, pop, and 600 and you're gone. A tier 8 medium with a ridiculous amount of burst just drives by, pops you twice, and you're gone.
Yeah, thank you. Piss off.
I kind of lean that way as well, Grendel. I don't particularly like for all those reasons, because I don't seem to have the luck people have, or the skill,
Well,
whatever
I've
it
never
is.
penetrate. I'd miss one, bounce one, maybe get one in.
Yeah.
That's it. That's me.
Yeah, I was playing the Toro, which is an autoloader, the other day, and I got guys charging me. I shoot, miss, shoot, bounce, shoot, hit, shoot.
Yeah.
He wiggles into the track. I'm like, I got 1 pin out of 4. We were within 50 meters.
Yeah.
It just, it seems like for me, if that was me and he was shooting me, every single thing would have hit and pin. And I guess it's a skill problem, probably.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I've got the 430U on my EU account, playing that yesterday. And it is abysmal when it comes to aimed shots. And I get it, it's a 430U, it's not a sniper. Hello.
Yeah.
But to virtually miss every shot with everything zeroed in, is impossible. But it is what happens when you sit in a 430U on the EU account and you've got a target which is, for example, an artillery spin spotted is maybe half a map away. I can understand that. But when it's half a yard away and it misses, you're like, I don't know where that goes. I don't know where that goes. And it goes in the air, it goes in the ground. You go, I'm going to kill the loader. I'm going to kill the gunner here because he's useless.
So I played in the KTTS yesterday in a bottom tier,
right, okay,
in a bottom tier match. There's a couple DBVs on the other side.
Of course there is.
And I kind of come up over ridge because there's a bunch of guys fighting in the middle. I don't remember what map this is, but some guys the lights and the mediums and stuff are swirling around. So, and there's a bush there, but I come up, I get a shot off, and I get seen because I shoot. So I start backing off, and the second I shoot, I get hit back again, like someone's aimed in on the bush, which is very possible. And I lose 850 from a DBV. I'm like, great, there's half my hit points. So I back out. Well, next thing I know, nobody's gone up to the little hill to fight, so I know they're coming up there, so I got to get out because I'd gone that way. It's the one that has the peninsula, and then the I think it's the northwest corner is where the high brawl is, and there's stuff in the middle. But anyway, it doesn't really matter. That we didn't go that side, which I had noted. I went about halfway, was trying to help get some shots, and I was going to pull back and go hold down, which of course, hold down with this is a problematic because you got a massive tumor on top of it. But anyway, that's a whole other subject. So I'm trying to back out, so I pull back off the hill, and then I turn like this, and I probably had about 4 pixels of this hatch sticking up the ridge. Yeah. And the second DBV hits me, and 2 shots, I'm out of the game.
Of course it does. Of course it does.
Gone. 2 shots out of the game. I'm the first guy dead.
Yeah.
We actually won that game, which is hilarious. I did 0 damage, died in 2 shots.
Dear, oh dear.
Dude.
I've heard that before, Grendel. Grendel makes a point. Don't fully aim the 430s. So the 430U and the 430 itself. I've heard that before, that snapshotting the 430s tends to make for better accuracy than actually sitting there aiming in and firing.
Yeah.
It goes against all the grain. It really does.
Well, I do that a lot. I will take not fully aimed shots because understanding dispersion and how it works, you're not really losing that much unless there's some kind of secret sauce on a fully aimed shot. Now, obviously, a more fully aimed shot is overall better than a not fully aimed shot. But with dispersion and the way it works, clustering in the middle, and a lot of this has to do with range and how many pixels you have available to hit, all that good stuff. But it doesn't seem to matter for me though what I do.
No.
Fully aimed or not, it's shit going into tracks. It's weird bounces. I bounced. What was I driving yesterday? It was a T27 that I bounced. It was. Which one of these bad boys was it? You know what I mean? The paper 3 autoloader T27 check thing.
Yeah.
Might have been my WZ.
That is insane.
It was either the WZ 5A. I think it was actually this. I think not this. It was the can opener. So he's kind of up on a wall on a weird angle, and I spin around and shoot. I got all kinds of tank. Well, the shell decides to go on the top because it was looking at me like this. The thing's looking at me like this. So the shell decides to hit the rounded top corner and bounce off of it, because of auto ricochet angle. And I'm like, then I died. I'm like,
Yeah, I'm like you. I snapshot and never do anything. People snapshot me and one-shot me all the time. They
Oh, yeah.
drive past, pop.
Yeah.
Drive past, pop. What? How did that happen? Where does that come from? You're like,
I have a
really?
lot of great. I have a miserable Monday. This is probably in a couple weeks because I built up some videos. Not enough to cover the whole vacation, but some of it. I had a whole bunch of miserable Monday stuff. In the last probably 9 or 10 days now, I have been lit on fire a dozen times. And that's not an exaggeration. I have 8 of them in the video. I just collected another one yesterday. Got lit on fire. And it's in multiple things. You're probably not too surprised. It's because this is a light little tank, but it lights on fire for me. This thing, for some reason, the KTTS, I've been lit on fire in this thing 3 or 4 times. What else? This thing, of course, it's light, but I've been lit on fire in this. I think even my can opener got lit on fire. My Toro gets lit on. I mean, it's not like just one. So it's crazy, man.
Well, there used to be a time. When you could almost gauge which tanks are burners. Remember back when? I don't remember what they were. They were generally the Soviet tanks would burn easier than most others because of where they positioned
The German
fuel tank.
It was the
Or
German.
the German. Yeah.
Well, in the game, you're talking the game or real life. In the game,
No, in the game.
yeah, because their transmissions, I guess, were in the front, and that was considered part of the engine and flammable. And sometimes the engine's in the front. The rear turreted things generally have engines in the front, so when it's get hit in the front, that they tend to the engine gets hit. So the Toro, I think, is an example of that.
I hate it when
KTTS.
you know what? You know what's annoying as well? If you get set and fire and you do luckily happen to have an automatic fire extinguisher, it doesn't put the fire out until at least half your hit points have gone.
I think it's
Like,
2
put the fire
ticks.
out.
Yeah, it gets 1 or 2 ticks. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not happy with that.
And I get all that. I understand the placement of the engines and how the mechanics work. What I'm saying is, in the last year or two, fires happen, but it's not like this. Not like the luck I've had in the last 8 days. So it's just been a really bad 8-10 days of fires, and I just crack up now because I'm like, I'm on fire again. This is unreal. And since I have quit using in the last 3 or 4 years, I've quit using because I exclusively used automatic fire extinguishers. I did not use food because I hated getting lit on fire so much some years back because it happened a lot. And maybe I just got used to in my. It could very well be that my internal timing clock for fires is different because I'm so used to not really being hurt by them. That in the last year and a half, 2 years, that I've changed everything out to food, that now all of a sudden now I'm kind of noticing it. But I still feel like even as I switched food, they just didn't seem as often as I've gotten the last week.
No, maybe it's a cyclic thing. I don't know. Maybe Wargaming have specifics that let's have everything burn this week. Let's have everything ammo rack next week.
Yeah, it feels that way. I mean, I don't know
Yeah,
what the purpose of that would be. But it does get personal when you've been lit on fire a dozen times in the last week. You're like, I don't understand what's going on here.
Yeah.
And it very well could just be
Madam
really bad
Yorktown,
luck.
Madam Yorktown has flamethrowers. Well, you can keep that on your console, Madam Yorktown, I can tell you.
Not a lot of fires, but had 2 shots in a row light me up more than normal. The other thing that drives me crazy, and I'm sure it's just me thinking about it, and it's not really a thing, but I can't track anybody. Like when I'm moving and trying to make a move, I get tracked so much it's insane.
Yeah.
I try to track people, they just shrug it off, and I'm assuming they don't, because people have setups where these days where, especially on like assault TDs, where it's really difficult based on the equipment they're running to track them, and that could be a lot of it. And maybe just because I'm never running that kind of stuff, because I'm usually running faster tanks. There could be some of that. And I'm sure it is the tank, kid. Like the Proto, this thing is it's a little light tank. There's no armor. I don't know if that has anything to do with it. I've forgotten, to be honest with you, how the stupid critical system works. And the armor, I don't think the armor matters, right? It's just whether it pens or not.
Yeah.
Yeah, Zemke, dude. Hold on, I just want to cover this. I'm not going to cover that video. It's not that I'm not interested in the drama of it. It's just, it's a level of nastiness that I don't want to get involved in. I'm going to leave it at that.
I've not seen it, so I'm not worried.
It's just it is that is not why I play video games. I don't want to get into any of that mess.
Good. So it's period.
Yeah.
T95s.
Right.
T95s.
Yeah.
Let's change the subject. T95s. I had a game on the EU yesterday, and I got behind a building. His left-hand track was poking out, so I was tracking him. I have no idea how this guy has the repair speed that he had. So I can understand the first one because he used his kit. So I tracked him again. He was getting mullered by everything because I tracked him.
Yeah.
But he was repairing before I was reloading. And what was I in? I was in, I want to say Leopard PTA, but it may be something like that. But it was something that was a fairly fast reload. So it might have been a PTA. But his repair was faster than my reloads. And I was like, you are joking me. How do you get your repair that quick? So it's obviously got to be massaged by whatever skill set he's got with his teams, whatever, I don't know, directives you can put on. And it was insane. I mean, I kept him tracked, but only just. He kept manoeuvring backwards to get out of it. So I don't know how, just on that particular one point, how do you get it so your repair is like seconds as opposed
Well,
to...
I'm going to show you. I'm going to
seconds?
set it up. I don't think repairs do anything, right? Actually, they will repair after you're damaged. What else do we need, fellas? Close combat? Nope.
Really, Grendel, 5 seconds.
Yeah.
That is insane. That is really insane.
Top forward speed.
Okay,
That doesn't do anything. Aiming speed turret. Potential damage. Nope, that doesn't do anything. Alright, so that...
yeah. Okay, Madam Yorktown, I see that.
I don't think any of these
Repair skill, BIA, vents, large kits, and FMs.
Yeah, so you do that, you got large kits, food. Let's put food on here. Apply. Let's go. Which field modifications do we need? Lightweight, traverse. There we go. Durability. That's just aiming stuff. View range stuff. I don't think that does anything for it. We're just going to apply that. What else, fellas? Have I put everything on there?
Is there a soft stats behind all of that stuff as well? Or is it?
Yeah, it's all the bonuses for repair, but let's go. What's the repair? Suspend 4.92.
You're joking. That's
Yeah.
absolutely insane.
Yeah. And
Which
here's
is what you would need in a T95 because you don't want to be stuck in one place, do you? With
Yeah.
that, because you just people farm you then.
now the one that was Wild Pilgrim was, where's the mobility? Here we go. And I don't think this is the full setup because there's better equipment to use. Yeah, it's not. Actually, let's get rid of this.
Oh, okay.
There was I saw a video on it. A guy had a setup where the thing was turning nearly, the T95 was spinning, traversing nearly as fast as an E25 can.
Wow.
And I think it's this, improved rotation. Actually, you got...
So if he says improved hardening gives you plus 20 on repair.
Yeah, so let's...
Which would make sense, wouldn't it?
Let's go with improved final drive. Let's go improved hardening, the magic one. And let's go... What else should we put on this, guys? What's the other improved thing we need? Improved config? Yeah, plus 45 to repair speed. There we go. All right, so now we are at 3 seconds, 3.09.
Get out. What do you give up doing that? That is absolutely insane. That is like, That is just crazy, isn't it? I mean, what have you given up by making it that
For a
separate?
T95, nothing. Yeah, I mean, you don't have a rammer. You're not running a rammer.
You've already got armor, yeah. You've already got the gun,
And you're not helping the gun stats out. You could also use some of the experimental stuff, which would change it slightly and might help with other things. So there's a few, there's some wiggle room in there, but we're running improved final drive, we're running hardening and improved configuration. Yeah, you're giving up DPS and accuracy, yeah.
Well,
But
yeah, fair enough. But what you've got there, if you've got him hardening on a T95, you've increased its longevity anyway.
so the traverse speed is 31.74.
I've set my T95 up like that. I want to piss people like me off all day long. That'll be fun.
Actually, I guess there's probably a. Can we help with? No, it's filter. What can we run here? Plus 10% more to repair speed. So now what do we got at?
Got to be sub 3 now.
Your DPM's taking a hit. Where'd it go? Survivability. 2.64. Two and a half seconds to repair.
That is crazy. I mean, if I come across that, I think I'd just drive away. I'd turn around and go, I'm not even going to bother with this boy. I mean, it's bad enough yesterday.
I mean, 150% internal module, plus 31% ammo rack, minus 75 damage by impact. Like, you're not taking any damage from impact, really. 127. First of all, you have 127 suspension durability, so they first have to track you, which your durability is minus 70% chance of engine fire, so you're probably not getting lit on fire.
You're just a beast, aren't you, when you've got that set up, I tell you. There's no stopping you.
It's crazy.
Imagine if you platooned up and your platoon mates were, I don't know, fast, well-armoured mediums, and you went, right, you left and right flank me, I'm just going to drive into the centre of the enemy, but just protect my backside. You know what I mean? You'd just go... You'd be like a steamroller, wouldn't you? You just wouldn't stop, would you? Amazing.
Yeah. That's a directive, I think you're looking at there, Madam Yorktown. You talk about that slot there, that's a directive. Just added on top of all that.
Oh, yeah.
Now, you are giving some up because you now have a 17.5-second reload.
Okay.
And your DPM has dropped quite a bit, down to 2,500. One of the things that's actually kind of nice about the T95 in its normal config is that for a 750 alpha gun, it does reload relatively fast.
Yeah.
Pretty good. So what's the negative here?
I guess you could cruise skill that up a little bit without affecting the repairs.
Well, you'd have to lose one of these things down here, which is giving you some big bonuses for all the mobility. You can't see it. Unfortunately, you guys can't see it because it's been on the picture there. But you'd have to give up your config, your hardening, or your improved final drive, which is giving you a bunch of those spinning around bonuses. Right? Just go across. Yeah. Even if they do track you, even if they somehow manage to track you, 2.5 seconds later, you're doomed turtling forward again. That actually might be that might be kind of fun, actually, now that I think about it. Do stuff like that with it. The video was crazy, man. The guy was showing it, and someone was trying to circle the T95, and he'd track it. And he'd be like 1001, 1002, and now he's moving. The guy like, holy crap, what the hell? And when it turned, because it was spinning so fast, the dude was having a hard time keeping away from the gun. He's like, what is this abomination?
Yeah.
Right, Cliffy? 3 guys set up like this?
Yeah, that would be a nightmare, wouldn't it? That would be a nightmare. You just like, especially on prop.
Just drive across, man. Plus, you got, how many hit points are you up to? 2,090 hit points. Because you've added a bunch of hit points on there because of that. Anywho, there you go.
Cool.
How did we get there anyway?
I don't know. It was me talking about T95s, wasn't it? So.
Yeah.
Man.
Now you would have to. That would be a heavy investment in in resources though, because you're talking about
yeah.
3 pieces of improved equipment on there, plus
Right, okay.
plus a good enough crew to have all those skills. Like I don't even know what my T95 crew has. It's probably pretty decent.
And we haven't swapped them out since.
Yeah, good question. I don't even know if they actually are a T95 crew anymore. That's a good question. They are. They're actually pretty good. Working on their 4 skills. So I should be able to get most of those important skills. Of course, the repair skill, that's a big piece of that.
Yeah.
So you'd have to have full repair crew. And not a lot of people, I don't think a lot of people
No, it's not some
do
people
that
don't.
much anymore, yeah.
No.
Because there's so many other skills, and you've got the kits. Of course, the other trick there would be to run. Well, I guess you would run. No, you'd run food because that's helping, and you'd want each one of the kits. You might run 2 repair kits and ignore the first aid kit, but the thing about the first aid kit is it gives you a little stun duration boost, and it stops you from getting hurt as much because it's plus 15 to crew protection, whereas the repair kit just adds to speed of repair. It doesn't help you not get damaged.
Yeah. Very interesting, isn't it? When you think of the thousands of ways you could set each tank up, well, thousands, hundreds of ways you could set each tank up. Somebody's actually, like yourself, has gone into it in great detail to make it happen.
Yeah.
Somebody's gone, I'm gonna make this. It's like you do with scouts, isn't it? You make the scout as invisible as you can.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I would have never guessed that you could get the repair time down to 2.5 seconds.
That's insane, isn't it?
Or to get its spinny around at 31. So the way mine's set up with kind of regular stuff. What's my traverse?
I'm gonna look at mine now.
My traverse sits at 29.71, which is actually not bad.
That's not bad, is it? That's not bad.
What did we get it to? Mine's at 29. This one's at... Let's go here. It's easier to see with this. Huh. Wow. Mine's not that much different than this. This one's at 31 and mine's at 29. And I don't have it really set up for anything. Oh, never mind.
Again,
sorry. It reset everything. Never mind. It reset everything. So what did we have it up at? 36 or something like that, or 38?
36. I'm at 27 without any sort of mods on it.
Yeah, I think we got it up to 36 or so. So that's actually pretty good. It's another, 5 degrees a second.
Yeah.
A minute, whatever it is.
Survivability, suspension rate. See, I've got without any sort of special stuff. I've got 9 seconds on the repair time. So
Right.
I could get that down to 2.5.
2.5, yeah, slightly over 2.5.
2.5. Wow. I might just mess about with that today and just see.
Morning, Pig. How you doing, man?
Hello, Pig.
Not capping
Yeah,
creatures. Yeah.
I'll leave that on. I think I'm gonna have a game with that. Play around with it. Get it so it spins like a spinning top, and get it to repair its tracks every 2.5 seconds. I'm just gonna roll across the map. Yeah. I'm gonna put in chat. What's my 6? Go.
Pig is doing a remodel.
Ooh.
I just finished one of those, man. I've
Really?
been well. We just finished one. We started last October, and we just finished probably a month ago.
No, yeah.
Did a bathroom, a closet area, reconfigured a washer dryer area, incorporated into a bathroom, and then part of it into the kitchen, and then gutted and redid the kitchen. Yeah.
There's your time frame, Pig. You've got a whole 9 months to get it sorted.
I bet Pig. See, I didn't do it myself either, so I actually
I
paid
bet Pig's
somebody.
doing it himself.
I bet he is. All right, fellas. Well, we've been out for about an hour. I'm going to take a break. I'm going to get some more coffee. We'll come back and talk a little bit of tank stuff. Pergam, you sticking around, or you got stuff to do?
I've got to go, but
All right.
yeah. I mean, as the weather turns winter, I'll be back to a 2-hour session. It's only during the summer.
Yeah, no worries. Awesome. All right, we'll try not to melt.
I've melted already.
It's getting hot in my
You can
little
have your
office
weather
here.
back.
All right, I'm going to go recharge the glass, fellas, and we will be back in 5 minutes, I think. All right, we are back. Gutting the kitchen. Let's see. Wanted to redo the bathroom. Couple estimates. That's right. It ain't cheap, man. Not today. Participate in some. Yeah, I do some of the stuff. 40 grand. My goodness. The bathroom started stockpiling parts at the vanity. Yeah, we did a bit of that too. We hunted down some of the bits and bobs that we were going to put into it. Most of that kind of depends on who you have for your contractor, but a lot of times, especially on remodels, you get to pick the stuff and they'll put it in. Vice, you're building a house and the builder kind of puts in what they put in. It always gets more expensive that way, though. Placing, upgrading, modernizing. It was, yeah. Yeah, we did some layout changes, so that cost us some. Moving wall. Did we move walls? We didn't really move a wall, but we did. I guess we removed some small bits of walls, but there was no super layout change of the house, just a kind of small one. All right, fellas. So what's going on here? World of Tanks. What are we doing? Not a whole bunch, man. Oh, that's right. My camera's here. All right. We have, obviously, Battle Pass is going on. And we've got right now, what is it called? Oh, Tank Fest. That's what it's called. So Tank Fest weekend is 3 little missions that get you 1 camo and some ×5s. That's it. That's the whole Tank Fest shooting match, guys. I find that strange, actually. If I'm honest. It seems, I guess, lame? I just had to call it Tank Fest because I forgot that there's actually a stream going on. I doubt today you're going to get enough. I probably won't get it because I think it's already in the afternoon there, so you really had to be up and early in NA to get it. That's kind of unfortunate. Been a hard time moving my stupid chat around. All right. Did it start at the same time we did? Okay. So I'm only an hour behind. But yeah, I don't think... How many hours is it going to go today? I'm wondering if I'll get enough time to get any of the drops. But there are drops, so go turn it on right now if you haven't done it. You'll get some stuff. Yeah, there's drops. Griffins. Oh, I forgot about that. So that's the other thing going on. How many are left? Has anybody not bought one or not built one? I like how it's building one, but really it's just trade. You're just buying one with. there's no building going on. Assembly shop. Okay, Brute. How many are you near your client? Thank you, Cliffy. 3,510. Is that numbered ones? Because I got a numbered one yesterday. Mine's 5,000 something. They're all numbered. Oh, wow, that's okay. But there's 3,000 on NA. There's 3,510 left. I wonder how many are left on EU. That's wild, actually. Status is a low number, yeah. 5,412 for Wayne. Mine is it's a tier 10, right? Tier 10 Brit, I believe. That's funny, I bought it. I don't even really know what the hell it is. It's this thing. Mine is number 5,305. Maybe, Pig. That's probably the problem. Maybe if they set it up to where you could buy 2, they'd have been able to sell them all. You got matching ones in your garage. Yeah, Wayne, same. I haven't even played it once yet. I've seen them. I've seen them. So 11,000 people on. So math in public, what were there? 8,000? Is that right? 9,000? Or was there 10? How many were there total? 10K. 10K. 11,000 people on. 10K. They only sold probably 4,000 or so that first day, maybe 5. So half the people that were on bought one. Wow. And it might be Wargaming that you're going to the well too much. I don't know. Are they going to learn? Are they going to learn? Is what's going to happen in September? This goes back to the discussion earlier about the game and its status as far as playability and enjoyment. What is the plan? Honest question. What is the plan? Is there no plan? Milk it? Milk it and get out? Milk it till they can't milk it? Have they given up on trying to improve it? Did they give up on trying to improve it years ago? And yeah, I don't know, man. Plan 9 from outer space. It's disappointing, to be honest with you. I was just looking at like the future stuff and on the Armored Patrol, and it's all the articles are premium tanks. Like there's no hey, here's an event we're doing. And I'm not talking about the stupid Steel Hunter, and Frontline's not as dumb as Steel Hunter, but I don't really care about Frontline. It's just that stuff. It's regurgitating a couple of the events, Steel Hunter and Frontline and whatever the other one is. And then putting out premium tanks. There's like 9 premium tanks in 1.29.1 that they're putting out. Not lines. There's no events. And I'm not talking about Steel Hunter and Frontline events. Like I don't need a mode. I play their basic game. The entire thing is built around the basic pub match, theoretically. But we spend all this time dicking around with modes and kicking out premium tanks and boxes and loot boxes. Yeah, Frontline is just not that enjoyable anymore. I'm not interested in all the power-ups and the arty bombs and all that crap. I play the game because I liked and enjoyed the pub match version of it. No hit point recoup, no magic powers, not many anyway. 1 life, 1 tank, some hit points, and off you go. Yeah, yeah, exactly, Cliffy. That's kind of my question. How disappointing in your minds, how disappointing is September going to be? What do you think? On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being least disappointing and 10 being the most disappointing. Or did I go backwards for you, Cliffy? Is that a 2 for you on least? Are you going towards least or most? I've heard that it might be a tier 11 thing. I don't know why that would be such a big announcement, to be honest with you. But that would be so Wargaming. We have this big September announcement, and the announcement is 4 tier 11 tanks. Yeah, there used to be tanks available in Frontline. Tier 12. The problem, amongst many, with that idea is that their game already breaks down at tier 10. The mechanics break down. The mechanics stop being interesting to me at tier 10 because everything is maxed out. They put limits on things. And there are a few limits that are not necessarily built or specifically consciously made by the developer, but that exist, as in the speed of reloads. There's a point at which it's so fast it's kind of ridiculous. Although when you get to tier 10 and you have all the equipment and stuff, we start to enter into that territory, and that's kind of my point. The easiest one to see is vision saturation and the size of the maps and the 445 stop and the 500 stop. Those are just baked into the game as part of the mechanics. And when you do that, everything gets better, more vision, sees further, shoots better, shoots faster. When you get to those stops, it breaks down. The game just, at tier 10, the game just breaks down. It's not the same game. A tier 8, all tier 8 battle is not the same as an all tier 10 battle. And as Pig says, the problem at tier 8 these days is that there are tier 8.5 and tier 9 tanks disguised as tier 8 tanks, and they start to look more like a tier 10 battle because of the saturation of the game mechanics, even now at tier 8. That's why probably right now for me, tier 6 is one of the more fun tiers to play. There's a little bit more wiggle room. There, you don't have as much mechanics saturation as you do at tier 10. And it's at least kind of fun. But for the rest of the game, it's a mess, especially at the higher tiers. Exactly, Pig. We actually, before you got here, we discussed that exact thing because that's something that I was raging about this week. Playing cyclical older tanks or even new tanks with cyclical guns and running into autoloaders, guys camping the back. You're down hit points. You've been playing the game well. You got a decent game cooking, and then somebody jumps out and ganks you because they have an autoloader. And of course, that's their sole contribution to the game. And it could actually be enough, especially if you're a good player and you've been doing work on a flank. All of a sudden, you get jumped by an autoloader who's willing to throw away their tank to pump all the shells into you and take you out. And there ain't nothing you can do about it, other than hide. Yeah, Grendel, I can't stand it, man. Good on you. I'm glad you can play 10. I do not like tier 10. It's just not any fun. I just get crushed at tier 10. Almost no matter what I do. Almost no matter what I do, I can't, because it's just such a, I know it's weird because I'll see, and you'll see it at tier 8 as well. You get a map, you know how the map is generally won. You watch your team start to deploy, and you realize quickly whether or not they're deploying in the most effective way. Which is not to say you know it's going to be win or loss, but you can already see, the writing on the wall. So what do? Do you just flow with your team and try to get some damage? I think that's probably the right answer, especially if you're doing like 3 marking stuff. If your team's smart enough to be doing the right thing, then you can go with them. But if you go try to do the right thing and you have no backup, at tier 10, you're going to be gone pretty quick. And it gets frustrating to see the other team take the spot that needs to be taken, and your team's all sitting in the back. You're like, well, shit. Now, my whole game now is just trying to hide and be careful enough to get some damage. I am no longer attempting to win this game because I'm not going to. If somehow the enemy team YOLOs into us hard enough, we might be able to turn this thing around, but I can't be proactive. There's no way I can go forward and try to do something because that's only going to get me knocked out of the game. That's right, Gator. Exactly. Yep. But I feel like, again, it's bias, right? But my bias is it's frustrating when you go, every time I play, the other team seems to have people who know what they're doing and they get forward and do the thing. And my team is sitting in the back like, come on. I want to be on the purple team. Like I'm not that bothered if my team goes to the right places and just gets outplayed and loses. I'd rather win, but the more frustrating one is where they just give up map control, and yeah, I'll try win. Your team gives up map control, gives up vision control, and you may not be in a tank that can do those kinds of things, so you kind of see the writing on the wall and what's going on. If my team pushes forward and we just get outplayed, well, that kind of sucks too, but at least they went to the places that generally win the game. But to have people roll over and just sit on the red line because they don't want to get deleted, which I get, but some people are just not really that good. And you can almost always see it, man. You look at the stats afterwards, and you got the 46% player, and they're going to hide. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know how the game is played. Really, they don't understand how it's won. What they do understand is if they get punched in the face enough by moving forward, they stop moving forward. TDs are a problem. Absolutely. And generally, it's the mediocre to bad players that lean towards the TDs. Now, some people like the playstyle, which is fine, but you see a lot of the the mid 40s players, because there's very few low 40s players, to be honest. But the mid 40s players, and I'm talking about your 46, 47 percenters. They're gonna be in the back in their TD. They'll be in the back in anything, but they lean towards TDs because generally they have either an autoloader or they hit hard. Yeah, the sniper E3. Yep. All right, so we got Battle Pass going on. I'm actually on the 20th stage of my second chapter. So I moved along pretty good. I'm going to have a whole month where I'm not going to play. In fact, well, that'll be the second month, so I'll have some time to catch up. I'm trying to get ahead a little bit. And as I was saying earlier with the whole missions thing, this is just a little bit of Tankfest stuff. I don't understand why Wargaming doesn't do more events within the public game, the standard pub match. Why are there not more events? There's so many tank things that have happened in history. You could have a weekly something or other. Now, one of the reasons why is they've sort of given up on that with the easy way out by doing Battle Pass. Right? Their answer would be, well, you have Battle Pass. That's your event, Battle Pass. Of course, that's monetization. They want you to spend money on that. But that's lazy, in my opinion, anyway, because they just start it at the beginning of the Battle Pass and it just runs through. They don't have to do anything with that. And when they do one-off missions, it's like this: Tankfest weekend's supposedly a big deal, and you can get a camo and some ×5s. So apparently, I have a bunch more ×5s built up. Wonder how many I have. Let's find out. Remember we looked at that the other day? No, that's not it. ×5s, there they are. $190. Some of you guys had 500 or 600 of these things. Yeah, ×5 XP. So I got 190 of these bad boys, which is good for grinding out field modifications and grinding out tank lines and modules and all that stuff, I guess. It's good for that. All right, let's grab... What do we got going on otherwise? Yeah, if you're interested in that video, it's out there. It's called Content Nuke. It's Chem's new effort there. All right. Got a 2D style. More styles. JPZ E90. These are all on Watt 129.1. We'll go over that in a minute. These are tanks that are going to be... They're not released with this update, but they'll be in the files with this update. They're at a state where they can be released, unknown where or when. A TBT, which is a Czech Tier 9 Premium. This is a premium, so they're both premiums, make extra credits. Lion and Claw, that's the thing that comes with the, what's it called? Whatever that thing, Griffin. That's What Are You? There's some leak from a CC in the Asia server giving some information on the Asia stuff. No effect for us. They're working on a Tier 5, another Stug variant. Because we need that, I guess. We should release... Not only should we release a bunch of premiums, but we should also have Tier 5 stuff. What else we got? Yeah, a sheriff event. Are they not sponsoring Aquino? Really? Wow. Later, Pig. See you, man. Then we have the H3, a Tier 9 Premium. Are these all Tier 9 Premiums? We'll go to the changes in a minute for the 1.29. BZT 70, a Tier 10 Premium. Goodness gracious. Rockets, maybe? Doesn't seem to have rockets, but maybe it does. Maybe they're internal. We'll talk about the stat tracker in a minute. Something nobody gives a shit about, but whatever. 1.291 Chi Safe. So this is kind of interesting because it does fill a gap. I don't believe there's a Tier 8 Japanese Premium Heavy, is there? Nope, that's not true. Type something. 63? There is one. There is one. But this looks more like, this is not like one of those modern things. This looks more like a World War II effort at Tier 8. So the Chisei. But it's a premium. That's right. So there is the Type 63, isn't there? Project Louis in game, a Tier 9, another French Tier 9 light tank premium. Okay. That's what Chi said, yes. The Griffin, yep, Griffin. Brenos, changes to it. A Tier 8 French premium. See, that's what I'm saying. These are all premiums. TS6. That's out, right? Or no? Can't you already get this thing? Or is that a different... It's TS60, isn't it? So I don't know what a TS6 is. That's a new premium then. There you go. Oh, it's a heavy tank. Great. Great. So it's not a TD. That's the TS60. AMX ELC 901, a Tier 6 promotional. This may be the gift, a well-deserved reward this year. I'm guessing that's what that is. Because is this not just the old ELC, AMX ELC with the 90mm? The gun they took off of it? I guess they're going to update the St. Gloriana for some reason. Then we have the MTC-2TC, a medium tank that looks like one of the TDs. It's a premium. IMT, a Tier 8 premium. It's crazy. It just keeps going. H3. And we're back to some of the other things. The Su-122V. It's crazy. All right. Let's go to 1.29, see what we got coming up, fellas. This is part of where I got the, hey, what are we doing, Board Gaming? What's the plan here? Where are we going with this? Because this update is a whole lot of nothing. Some Onslaught changes. Okay. Visual presentation of badges awarded as rewards has been improved. Okay. New customization elements in badges. Great. Frontline. The rewards for tiers yada yada have been updated to include mentoring licenses and a universal booklet. So a few more goodies. Okay. Stat tracker. The stat tracker. This is All right, I found this to be kind of humorous. I see what they're doing, but it isn't. Maybe it's just me. I find it funny that they're, hey, here's update 1.29.1. Here's the things in it. But the Senate says the stat tracker will not be released in update 1.29.1. It has been added for the IS-7 and VZ-71 TESAC exclusively for testing purposes. Is that not a weird two tanks to pick? The IS-7 makes total sense. It's very popular. The VZ-71 TESAC is a terrible light tank. Anyway, they're releasing it in test form, so it's not a full release for the stat tracker. The stat tracker will be credited to players' accounts after fighting one battle during testing. This I don't understand. Does this mean if you don't fight a battle during testing, you won't get it when it's released in the game? I mean, I'm talking about for the IS-7 and the VZ. Is it not going to be released to everybody's IS-7 and VZ? I don't understand what that means. Mentoring thing. You mean Cliffy's question, same question. You mean referral? I did do that once with somebody. I don't know if I ever got a tank out of it, to be honest. I know that I think I did one of my alts. I think I used one of my other alts to be the mentor or the referral somehow. I think I did get a tank out of it. It's like a tier 6 or something. Or maybe it was a tier 8. I don't remember exactly what the tanks are. That program's moved around a couple times, so I'm not sure what the status is. It's actually a decent deal. If you have two people playing and you're a new player and the other player is established, and you can actually get a couple tanks out of it, so it's okay. Yeah, right, Cliffy? Questions could be found and answered in the forum. Good luck on Discord. All right, gun slot. This one I don't understand in any way. The gun slot feature will also not be released in. This is a list of shit we're not going to do. All right, guys. This is a list of things that are not in 1.29.1. Will not be released. Draft attachments have been added exclusively for testing purposes as we assess the features core functionality in an isolated test on select reference vehicles. Test subject 001 is the IS-7 gun sleeve. What is a gun slot? Do you guys understand what that is? Test subject 2 FV230. What the hell is an FV230, by the way? Subject 003 Progetto M40 mod. What's a FV230? That's got me stumped. FV230. Stump? I'm stumped, my friend. What's a 230? That's right. The legendary FV230. Is that a typo, or is one of these things actually named an FV230? FV26. It's a Brit Heavy? Is it released? 201, Black Prince. The Griffin? Is this it? Can opener. Oh, the can opener is a 2. No, it's a 229. Close. You're one off. At least mine says FV 229. 4201, 215. You think tanks.gg has some essay on this? It's one better. Good point. Good point. Tanks.gg. Tanks. Full list. 230. Excelsior. 229. I'm confuzzled, fellas. Mark 6. Oh, it does say 230 can opener. Why does it say 229 on the... Good job, Wargaming. Okay. I have something you can fix, fellas, on your... something you can fix. Okay. Oh, you're right. I'm confused. You're right. It is one better because it's the tier 10. Okay, goodness gracious. I'm the confused one. There it is, 230. All right. Goodness gracious. That was hard. All right, so it's the can opener. Also, why would they just not say FE 230 can opener? No idea. So IS-7, FV 230, and the Progetto Mod 65. The draft attachments will be credited to players' accounts after fighting one battle during testing. There's no information here on what a gun slot is. What it is... Anybody know what that is? It says gun slot, doesn't say sleeve. But it could be a sleeve, I guess. Is it just a 3D attachment? Probably. That makes the most sense to me, because if you go to exterior, right now, 3D attachments, as you can see, there's no way to put anything on the gun. So that must be it. Does it say sleeve 3 times? Gun slot, testing purpose. Gun sleeve, gun sleeve, gun sleeve. Yeah. But it's a gun slot that you put a sleeve on. All right, so let's see. Let me recage the gyros. I think I finally caught up. It took a long time to get there. The FV230 is the can opener. It is going to be a slot that you put a 3D attachment on called a sleeve. Have I caught up? I think I've caught up. Maybe. What should we put on this? Do we need this? What is this? A shield. Okay, sure. How about another machine gun? Oh, look at that. Is that the only place I can put a machine gun? Or can I put one off the side of the tank? Nope, that's the only place I can put it. What else can I do? What's this? Some garbage sitting on the side of it. Okay. I have a lot of 3D stuff, guys. What, does this have little things coming out of it? Oh, look at that. The magic dowsing system. Could put some of that on there. Oh, what about speakers? Can we put speakers on there? There we go. Oh, good. Anyway, you can see I use those. I've actually put some of that stuff on different tanks just for giggles. It's. I don't hate the 3D attachments. Nothing wrong with it. I'm not a huge fan of the goofy ones, but it doesn't affect me really. 4-leaf clover gets it away. Is that? I think what happens when you put that on your tank is you get luckier. It's a 10% bonus to any RNG-based mechanics in the game. So I recommend putting the harp thing. Is it actually a harp? I said it was a horseshoe, but you guys are saying it's a harp. Looks like a horseshoe. It's definitely a horseshoe with a 4-leaf clover in the middle of it. Keeping the luck. You don't want to turn it over. All the luck falls out. Yep, 10% RNG bonus if you put that on all your tanks. So that's my recommendation. My recommendation. What else we got coming up, fellas? So you're not getting a stack tracker except for 2 test tanks. You're not getting a gun slot with sleeves except for 3 test tanks, one of which is the same as the other test tank, but the other 2 are not. Don't know. We have small changes to Onslaught and Frontline. Battle Pass. Additional Battle Pass chapters have been added. Sure. Here's one. Do any of you use, I doubt this actually, but do any of you use, or have you used the minimum graphics settings? I do see some people still playing and streaming on the minimum settings. They have, obviously, generally not streaming, making videos more often than streaming, because generally if you have to use minimum settings, you're probably not able to stream, really. You saw it on a Borat Friday? That's awesome. I think it would be pretty funny if you could see those things above ridge lines. Because really you can't. Those things can be poking up above ridge lines. Unless the spotting point is actually seen, you're not going to see whatever 3D stuff is sticking up. But it would be funny to see that trolling along the top of the ridge line. I guess if the guy got spotted, if he went high enough on a ridgeline and then started heading downhill, you might see that, at least while he was still spotted, you'd see that 3D attachment cruising along. I have seen that, Cliffy, yeah. I find that's a really interesting subject, actually, because I've seen that in competitive, and I've actually seen some streamers. They have everything turned off. There's no explosions, there's no dust. That seems kind of boring, but I get it why they do it, because it's, really all they need to know is where the hitboxes are and whatever. You have all the fluff turned off, really. I enjoy it. I have most of it turned on to max. I used to turn it off. I don't care anymore. I like seeing things blow up. I will be honest, though, it has caused me issues looking through fires and stuff, trying to shoot people, so I can see why you'd turn it off. Yeah, it can cost you, absolutely. Yep, but I leave it on because I don't give a shit. Dude, I'm so past worrying about any of that crap anymore in this game. It's whatever, man. I do get irritated when I lose, but not enough to worry about trying to maximize stuff. I just don't care. Antenna physics. That's right. And maps. Or maps. Flags, right? We need flags and antenna physics. What else, fellas? We got, so minimum graphics has actually been removed. So, or will be. Standard graphics has been renamed to simplified. Oh my goodness. Okay. Sure. And then all these premiums we've been looking at: the Su-122V, Jagdpanzer E90, H3, Project Louis, BZT-70, Chisei, that's what Chisei, and the TBT. Let's see if there's any fixes. Is there anything that has bugged us? Fix the issue of vehicles getting stuck in a playable area of the Pearl River map. Never seen it. Anybody seen that one? Oh, I only got banned for a little while. Fix some visual issues that appeared on the Tiger 1 when the Kampf Group Sandstorm 3D style was applied. Okay. Fix the issue of dust effects not following wheeled vehicles correctly when driving on asphalt. Man, that one's been bugging me for a long time. Glad they fixed that one. That's good. Fix the issue of team base markers not being displayed on the steps minimap in assault, attack, defense, or encounter. Don't think I've ever seen that. Fix the issue of tooltips not appearing when hovering over rewards on the post-battle reward screen in Frontline. Okay. Fix the issue of the camera returning to the commander camera mode instead of the default arcade view after exiting sniper mode. Oh, wow. Camera returning to the commander camera mode instead of the default arcade view. Huh. No idea. Now, I don't use Sniper, so that didn't affect me. I'd scroll Sniper. Grendel, I don't know if there's a fix to that based on the way their cameras work. Like, what would you need it to do? Fix an issue with adjusting vehicle positions when firing to account for network latency. Fixed an issue with adjusting vehicle positions. Boy, that sounds kind of serious. Is that a ghost shell kind of idea? Adjusting vehicle positions when firing to account for network latency. I think there's a lot in that one little sentence, potentially. That's wild. Known issues. Some commanders remain in the barracks. Okay. Driving over certain terrain texture on Manheim Line causes it to disappear. Okay. Again, haven't seen that. 6 sense indicator remains visible throughout. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That may be my favorite thing. Of all the things in this update, that might be my favorite thing they're going to do. Because when you make content and you try to move around fast forward or backwards, not speed-wise, but there's a key where you can jump 30 seconds, I think it is. If the sixth sense is on when you jump, it will stay there. And which means you have to shut the whole thing, replay down, and start it back up again. I would like them to fix their mech for movement within the replays. I think their replays should automatically have free camera mode as opposed to downloading a mod which has existed for over a decade. I've never run it long enough for it to go away, Grendel. I didn't know that, but usually when you're making content, if I've backed up, I'm going to a specific spot and I need to get there quickly. I'm not looking to run through the whole replay. You know what I'm saying? So it's a timing thing. It's faster for me to shut it down, restart it, and then jump forward to closer to where that point is, and remember that I need to not go past it. And that's the big problem for me when I'm doing content is if I'm jumping forward and I go too far. And I happen to have that thing go off in that part of the replay. Then when I back up, I'm like, shit. But I would really like to see them put free camera in their replays. That would be amazing. That would be amazing. I don't know if that's true, Grendel. I mean, what this says is, let me say it this way. I don't know if that's true every time. 6 sense indicator remains visible throughout replays. There's not a lot there, and it doesn't say anything about going forward or backwards, so I don't know if that's the same bug. Right, Cliffy? Oh, they have free camera. I mean, it's been out for 10 years as a mod. Why it's not in their replays, I just don't know. Yeah, I wonder if mods change that a bit. I don't know, but it feels like it never goes away, but I haven't tested it to where I went, all right, let me just let it run. No kidding, make sure it runs 15, 20 seconds where it shouldn't be on anymore. Might go test that, actually, just see if that's true or not. Next time it happens to me, I may just let it run and see if it ever goes away, because it might. I don't know. I don't know if I've ever waited that long. Because usually I'm trying to get to a point and start recording from there, and when it's up like that, I'm like, screw it. I X out and restart the replay. Which, to be fair, doesn't take a whole lot of time. The replay system, as far as being able to grab the replay, double-click and play it, is actually pretty damn good for a game. Right, Cliffy? C and D. Cannot duplicate. Loved if they could make an outline replay viewer that had all the patches available. Excuse me. Man, I'll tell you what, that sickness I got a month ago, I have had a cough since then. Crazy. And still got gunk going on, which is crazy. Yeah, so there is a workaround to that. There are sites that have all the old versions of the game, but you know now you're downloading another bazillion gig of that game. It would just be nice if their replays were backwards compatible somehow, but I understand why not, because they keep adding so much content, then that content isn't there when that replay was done, so it doesn't know what to do with it. That would be nice, though. It would be cool. I know people have some of those old clients, and they make videos of some of the old stuff, or they actually just have footage from the old stuff. Sometimes I go back to the videos I made, however long ago it's been now, 7, 8 years, I guess, at this point, and look at some of the replays from then. You're like, holy cow, I remember that. That was very different. It's my very first replays. Exactly, Grundle. Yeah, I mean, yeah, absolutely. So it's a one-off thing, I think, for most people. Most people aren't going to keep all the different versions, but if for some reason they wanted to go back, it does exist. But yes, then you're downloading a shit ton. All right, so that's Common Test, guys. There's just not a whole bunch going on there. In fact, there's almost nothing. Really, really, all this seems to be is getting ready for the next Battle Pass. Oh, wait. That's right. I forgot about that. Remember, this Battle Pass has 2 extras coming up. That's what this is, isn't it? These are the extra 2 chapters that are supposedly being put into this Battle Pass that we've heard. Gator, you know what I would have to do, because I don't keep my replays after I upload them. I delete them. I'd have to go download them from from YouTube, and then re-upload them as a new replay. I guess I could download them and edit a few of them and just replay and do that. Wonder how much graphical decay that would cause, downloading one of those replays from YouTube and then messing around with it in OBS and then re-recording it and re-uploading it. Might come out as a 8-bit. All right. I mean, I know some people save all that stuff, but good Lord, I can't even imagine how much memory all that would take, or how much storage all that would take. Not memory, but storage. Okay, so that's that, guys. Honestly, we didn't really do the shilling thing, but there's not a whole bunch in here. We got some Tank Fest stuff going on. So you got the DZT is actually for sale. That's pretty funny. I didn't realize that. So you can buy a DZT. You can buy a Toidle. Some 3D styles. And some camo, all related to Tank Fest. There's also the Basante, although this is Watt Salute stuff there. Premium's pretty standard. We've got some packages for the Scorpion if for some reason you don't own one of those, and the 56 TP, and we got the E75 TS for sale. And that's pretty much it, guys. There's not a whole lot else going on sales-wise. I have to use the 8-bit music, yeah. And that's that, fellas. Honestly, we got Battle Pass going on. You got, obviously, Tank Fest is this weekend. Should be ending today. A couple missions for that. We're just grinding Battle Pass at this point. And I guess waiting for those 2 new chapters to show up. 2 seems like overkill. I'm not really tracking why 2. I guess if you have 1, 2's better than 1. Is that where we are with that? I mean, honestly, who's gonna grind out 2 more? You're already probably pedaling hard to grind Battle Pass, and when they threw the extra one out, it was kind of interesting because sometimes the tank might be cool. And now they're gonna do 2. I mean, are they really gonna do 2? That seems like. I guess if they're gonna do nested boxes, 2 extra Battle Pass chapters that you could just pay gold for is not really that big of a surprise, is it? Yeah, no. Let me see. Next week. I am planning on next week right now. We don't leave till Monday. So there should be a coffee talk next week, guys. Pretty good chance of that. And then we got 3 weeks off. There'll be no coffee talk on the 13th, 20th, or 27th. And we'll be back in August on the 3rd. That's the plan. July 6th is the go, gentlemen. So we'll see how we go. What am I working on before I go? Let's see. The main tanks we're kind of playing the can opener and the WZ because those are both battle pass tanks. Still working on the KPZ. MKPZ, we're at 61 battles on that bad boy. Running a 54% win rate, but only 807 experience. This one's been a struggle. I don't hate it. It's just not great. This is pretty fun. I have a good win rate, but it's a small sample size. I'm sitting at 66. I'll tell you one thing about this thing is it reloads fast. I'm at 6.6 seconds for a 360 alpha gun. So it's got 3,272 DPM with my setup here with a rammer. I've got rammer hardening and the mobility improvement system, some food, and a pretty good crew, as you can see. And this thing's cranking out 3,274. So if you can get into a position to use this gun, it's pretty brutal. All right, see you, Wayne. Have a good one, man. Pretty brutal. What else am I playing? I'm playing this thing and the Proto. The Proto I had up to about 53% win rate and then just absolutely got spanked, and I'm finally clawing it back up. So we're sitting at 47 with that. 60 or 70 battles, I think. So we really got to get on our horse if we're going to get above 50% on this. But again, a low experience, average experience of 810. That's not really great. And I am playing the Toro a bit. We're getting close on it. I want to see it's above 50 now. Yeah, 54 battles in the Toro. I don't like it, Grendel. It's just not good at being a light tank. What's it got going for it? It has a 320 alpha gun. Other than that, it's not fast. It's not particularly stealthy, and it has the same view range as all the rest of the light tanks at 9. So I would agree. Maybe Kedge is right. It's not a terrible medium tank, and it has better camo than a medium tank. Maybe that's how you run it. I try to run all my light tanks as light tanks, so that's probably my problem. But it gets out light tanked pretty easily. Yeah, a little bit like the German ones, I would say. Yep. And that's it. Toro. I am playing a little bit of this thing just because it's kind of funny with a 560 alpha gun. So it's decently fast, okay accuracy. So interesting, not great, but interesting, I would say. And that's where we are. Let's go find someone to raid, fellas. Get on with our Sundays and whatnot. Let's see. I get rid of this. Get rid of this. Get rid of this. Could just raid Total, or could just raid Tankfest, I guess. Not a whole lot of people. Wait, what? Wow. If Skill must have just started because he's only got 804 viewers. Either that or everyone's watching Tankfest, which could very well be it. There are 54,000 people watching Tankfest right now. That's pretty crazy. We'll raid Total War. He's giving it a shot on a Tankfest day. There he is. All right, guys. You guys have a fantastic weekend. What's left of it. He's been ostracized. Oh, has he lost a lot of viewers because of that? Yeah, what a freaking mess. Anywho's, we're going to go raid Total War. You guys have a fantastic rest of your Friday. Oh, he's one of those guys that doesn't allow raids. Okay. Stand by. Not him. How about Phi done? We'll go Phi done. That'll work. Why would you not allow rates? It's really weird. That's capital F. All right, there he is. Cool. We'll go rate Phi done, as I've attempted to say several times. Have a great one. Have a great, maybe he's a monk. Could be a monk. Have a great rest of your weekend, and we'll see you for Coffee Talk next week, and then I am off on vacation. Laters.